was amazing. As a matter of fact, when 9/11 happened, Carl Rose, a good friend of mine, I sent him a memo the very next morning, 10 lessons from the Oklahoma City bombing. One of them was to go to the site. You'll have an argument over should the president stay in the White House. We had the same argument. Should the governor stay here? Should he go? Keating did we're going to the front lines. You guys can stay here and run this place. I need to be where, and he was exactly right. We're going to go visit a mosque because we want to reassure Arab Americans, many of whom were accused wrongly in those early hours of somehow being involved. Was this an act of terrorism? No, it was a white nationalist, that was, mad about Waco and killed a bunch of innocent people in Oklahoma City. But again, a lot of the lessons, including, by the way, it's one of the things that we were able to contribute. I remember talking on when we were trying to get the relief package for Oklahoma City. In a disaster, the normal spread is the state and locality covers a quarter of it. Federal government will do 3/4. And so we're having this discussion about what the cost would be. I'd commissioned an audit from a leading Oklahoma City firm to help us figure out. And they brought up the formula, and I said, look guys, this wasn't a natural disaster. This was an attack on the United States, on a federal facility. And the Clinton people were incredibly helpful. I mean, very helpful. Bill Clinton and his whole team were helpful to Oklahoma City during the bombing. And they he said, that's right. You really don't have to pay anything. I saved the state of Oklahoma my salary that day for sure. But that same precedent was then used in 9/11 for New York City. This wasn't he's a very shrewd man. He said, I know right now this is the whole center of the universe. Every television camera in America is down there. And I know it's going to be a big thing in Oklahoma for a long time to come. But let me give you a piece of advice. You got about 30 days. 30 days. And then the cameras will move on and people will begin to forget. You'll never forget in Oklahoma City. But, the country will move on to other things. So you need to move fast. You need to move hard. I'm going to do everything I can to help you. And I remember coming up, participating in a congressional hearing on what the scope of the damage was. And the audit that we had done was really incredible. I think it was a Pete Marwick and Mitchell audit, if I remember. They did a great job for us. I remember calling up one of their senior partners, Carlos Johnson, was still very active, very good friend of mine at the time. And I said, Carlos, I've talked to the governor. We need to figure out what the real damage here is. And it's hard for us to know how to do it. He's given me permission to spend $100,000 to do an audit. I have no idea what something like this would cost. And he said, Tom, it's probably going to cost a lot more than $100,000, but we'll take the money and call it even. We're going to do this for Oklahoma City. And they did. And so when I came up to Congress, I'm armed with, this is the damage, street by street, block by block. And it was so good. One of the participants in the hearing actually made a little fun of me for this, but he'd gone through it. He said, well, it says here that you lost a certain amount of money because the parking meters in downtown Oklahoma City didn't work for about 6 weeks or several weeks or what have you, because the whole area was cordoned off. It was a disaster site. Nobody's down there. And he said, isn't that a little extreme? I said, it's a loss. It's a loss to the city of Oklahoma. And guess what? They all got covered. They covered everything in that audit. They did everything we asked them to do. And so we secured, literally hundreds of millions of dollars to help rebuild and compensate and do the things under law that we were permitted to do.